What an interesting game. Obviously, we got behind early, big inning in the first, made a couple errors in the second, and I'm thinking, boy, we got to get this thing turned around, and we got to get it turned around in a hurry. And then we throw up 6 runs in the bottom of the second inning, and just really got some momentum going. Okie and Rollman with back-to-back walks, and Jolly with a single, excuse me, Cajun Cafe, single RBI. And then, we got 6 consecutive hits after that. So, 6 runs right there was huge. And that kind of calmed, I think, Charlie down a little bit, and it made him more aggressive. He started pitching with a little better tempo and a little more conviction on his pitches, and he threw really well. Got us through 6 innings, only gave up 4 runs. And then Eubanks did a really good job. Ran into some trouble, had bases loaded there with facing, I think it was Kinnaman, who had already hit a home run and got him to fly out. Overall, I thought we played really, really well. If you take away the first inning, the big inning, and the 2 errors we made in the second, from the 3rd inning on, pitching-wise and defensively played really well. Eli White made maybe the best play he's made this year. KJ Bryant ran down a ball in foul territory, made a nice play. And we swung the bats very, very well. Had 27 quality at bats tonight, which was, I think, as many as we've had in an ACC game. So we did a good job of being patient, laying off breaking balls in the dirt and pitches out of the strike zone. And thought our guys did a really good job of putting together good at bats and scoring a bunch of runs.
Coach, win this series, can you look back at Jolly's at bat as maybe being one of the turning points?
Well, it definitely was big for us. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We got a couple guys on base right there, and he picked us up. Green struck out the at bat before, and Jolly picked us up right there. That hit, got us some momentum going. And then Eli with an RBI, and then Rudy, with a base hit, Pender base hit, Weston base hit, Beer base hit. It was just one right after the next, and that was huge for us. And again, I thought offensively our approach was about as good as it could have possibly been. And pitching-wise, you got to give Charlie a lot of credit. You give up a big inning in the first inning, it's tough to come back from that. And after that, he threw up five consecutive, I think 5 zeros after that. Is that right? Yeah. So, threw really, really well. Very, very proud of him.
Is he one of those starters that just takes an inning or two to find a rhythm? Some guys are like that.
He's done that a number of times this year where you're right. He's trying to feel for location and his pitches early in the game, and then it seems like once he gets 20 to 30 pitches into the ball game, he gets better. And tonight, we stretched him out a little bit, and he threw really, really well after that first inning, and we played good defensively behind him after that.
It looked like Alex settled into that reliever role again, and with the way he pitched tonight and the way Charlie pitched, you saved a lot of guys. How big was that?
That's big. It's big. It's big that Charlie was able to get us deep into the ball game, and we had a lead. Obviously we've been talking about that. That's a key for our team on Friday night, is we've got to have a starter that can get us deep into the ball game, and Charlie did a great job of that tonight, of getting us through 6 innings and leaving the last 9 outs for Eubanks, and and Alex did a great job of following him up, and it was good to only have to use 2 guys in one game and to score as many runs as we did.
At the same time, how big is it to chase their guy in the second inning and make them use 7 pitchers on Friday night?
Well, it's definitely big, and they do a good job. They did a really good job of managing their bullpen. They really only threw one guy with Piedmont, multiple innings, and it looks like, he could probably come back on Sunday if needed. But they used all their other guys in short stints, so they'll have all of them available. And they're a really good team. There's no doubt about it. You look at their lineup, they've got some guys that can really, really swing the bat. So, for us to, again, give up that big inning early and then to, only give up 2 more runs after that, I'm very, very proud of how we pitched against a really, really good NC State ball club.
Yeah, won 3 of 4 against top 10 teams. Do you feel like it's starting to maybe come together a little bit?
Well, I certainly hope so. I would say yes if we win tomorrow. So win the series tomorrow, I'll say yes. But no, we're definitely playing better. And I think even throughout last weekend, the midweek game, and tonight, the quality of our at bats is really, has been really, really good. I think our offense has done a really good job, and the big thing is for us is we just gotta get deep into the ball game with a starter, and we got to make the routine play behind them. And because our offense, I think right now is, we're getting production up and down the lineup.
Still TBA on your pitchers?
We're going to talk about it again. We sat down there. I was a little late coming up here. We talked through it a little bit. I think we're down to, basically 2 guys. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more and, try to make a decision here relatively quickly. So I'm sure I'll go back down there and we'll sit down there and hash it out and try to make the best decision we can as far as who we're going to start tomorrow.
You mentioned Jolly. He was 3 for 4 tonight, and I think he had another one that he almost legged out. It looked like he might have been safe. How important was that for him for his confidence and also to give you another option at DH and for pinch hitting?
Well, we've been a little bit limited, with the DH spot as far as kind of what we can do, unless we DH KJ or we play KJ and right and DH Seth. We haven't had, the production that we would have liked to have had out of the DH spot. So, we wanted to give Robert an opportunity with the right-hander starting tonight. We just felt like it was the right time to give him another chance, and he made the most of it. He came up. I think he had, they had the base hit RBI, and then he had, 2 more infield hits, which was good to see. So he got on base a few times tonight, gave us some quality at bats, and it's always good to have a kid who had a really good year last year, has been up and down a little bit this year. It's always good for him to have a good night. Hopefully he can get some confidence going, and that's a viable option for us in the DH spot.
Is it crazy to think that, you're this deep in the season and this was just Seth's second three-hit game of the year?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting. No, I had no idea that was the case, and I don't know if I've seen a better at bat than the 2-strike base hit into right center field. I mean, if you look where that pitch was it was a good pitch. I mean, it was a left-on-left breaking ball with 2 strikes. It was off the plate down, and he just went down and got it. And a kid just, man, he is amazing. For him to be able to do that, is left on left, 2 strikes, good breaking ball. He just stays on it, and he's got such length. He can cover, off the plate. He's unreal.
What was the feeling that you had that made you move Oki behind Beer to the 4th spot? He actually had 3 walks tonight, which is kind of ironic, being that he was batting behind Beer now. But what was the motivation behind that?
The reason that I did that tonight was I knew that NC State had a lot of depth in their bullpen, and they had some righties and lefties that they could match up with. And if you see, you saw the first guy they went to, the lefty that they went to, and then the righty, the side armor that they went to. I knew that they had some guys they could match up with. So we wanted to try to break up our lefty some, and I thought hitting Seth in the 3-hole allowed us to put Roman in the 5-hole. We put Jolly in the 7-hole and put Rudy in the 9-hole. So it allowed us to put lefties 3, 5, 7, 9. Which would force them a little bit to kind of do what they did, bring in a guy to face a hitter and then take him out. And instead of bringing a lefty in to face back-to-back hitters in Beer and Rollman, I thought tonight, especially with putting Jolly in, a left-handed hitter, that we could break the lineup up a little bit and stagger it a little bit more by putting Seth in the 3-hole.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you,
Yep.
Coach.
Thanks, buddy.